The Metis people. The Metis people ethnicity stems from the late 1600s, but primarily in the 1700s, when the French and Scottish fur trader married indigenous women. The French fur traders were also known as voyageurs. The women were mostly Cree Anishinaabe descendants. Many Metis people identify with the concept of being and becoming. This self-awareness is included the process of ethnogenesis, which is an emerge of new people or nation. A mixing of two worlds. The Hudson Bay Company hired French voyageurs to transfer mainly using canoes. It was a blue-collar, hard work of often times cut lives short. Because of the harsh lifestyle, many young men became fur traders. Some had families in Montreal, while many married indigenous women. These families sustained themselves in mixing of economies, harvesting, hunting, and conducting the business in the fur trade. The Métis homeland includes Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. They have their own distinct language called the Michif. One, th- one in this conversation have three different languages that use interchangeably. For example, Cree, French, English. The Michif language variety depend on the graphic area the language develops from being the middle people in the fur trade. Métis people can trace their own origin to the fur trade including culture, language, shared attitude, behavior. Some children adopted First Nation lifestyle and other Europeans, while many became part of the ethnic group called the Métis.
The First Nation people. Canada is a newly formed nation-state that is 151 years young. After Confederation in 1867, Canada began to negotiate treaty with the First Nation people. The first The first of the number of treaties, also known as the Stonefort Treaty, was signed in 1871 between Anishinaabe, Swampy Cree Nation, and the Imperial Crown of Britain. The treaties are an arrangement that outline the terms of sharing the land. The interpretation and understanding of the treaties is still being debated and new evidence is still being found. But the treaties were an arrangement to share the land in peace and friendship, in parallel to one another. The treaties are considering living agreements where they have to revisit to see if the relationship is still good. The commonly used phrase, "we are all treaty people," reminds us that we have to work at having a good relationship. The First Nation and Métis people are dynamic and have worked to hold their valuable history while adapting to new landscapes. There is diversity among groups across Canada. At the first time, there are some principles that are commonly shared within their communities.